but knowing that you can make this happen is really critical. Like just keeping on track with your self-motivation is really important.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
How would you like to achieve your first million? And today we have Leah with us, and she built the seven-figure wellness brand from Burnout. Now she teaches others to heal and scale. So why most founder break down by year three, the CEO self-care blueprint, no one talks about it. The hidden ROI. I think that this is amazing, and we're gonna have a lot to cover in this broadcast today. So Leah, tell us what are the 5 steps that entrepreneurs should be doing out there to make the first million?
Yeah, I think it's really important to tap into who you are first. Really get to know yourself before you launch a business is really key to see what's going to drive you. Because when you're an entrepreneur, you've got to be all in. You can't just do this, passive income wise. There's a
Tell me
lot of
about it.
yeah. There's a lot of opportunities out there, that people talk about, these digital nomads and all of these wonderful things. And people have this idea that you just like instantaneously start a business and make money, and it's not so easy. There are a lot of tech opportunities that have led people to huge fortunes very quickly, but most that are on the entrepreneurial route need to step back and understand that there is a lot of testing. You're like a scientist. You've got
Mm-hmm.
to really get to know yourself and what's going to drive you and motivate you, and something that you're so sure about that can really make a difference for the planet, for the humanity. Those are really good things to focus on, because as we mature and grow into human beings, a lot of times we're looking for that in our 40s and 50s. It's being a life coach, that's kind of an area that I'm an expert in. And honing in on that age bracket, it's not so much about just the money. There is a meaningfulness to what your work is going to be.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's really important as a key way to kind of tap into whatever area is going to make you feel that inspiration, feel that purposeful movement and motivation to really keep going, because it's not always easy. I run a home care agency. I'm a fortunate person that I was able to do a lot of testing in an employee role. So like it wasn't as risky for me because I was a COO of a company, and I did a lot of testing, and my science work was during that time period. And so I knew that it was something I could do, the
Very good.
expansion of home
Mhm.
care.
Okay, so
Um,
step number one, we got it clear, right?
yeah.
So know yourself and take very seriously to know yourself, who you gonna, what you gonna do, what type of business you're gonna have. And then what happened, Leah? What would be the step number two, three, four, and five?
Yeah. So, as I said, you can test things out. You want to test the marketplace. You want to
Mm-hmm.
look at what other companies are doing that are similar to your idea, and make a spin-off of that to really create a unique offering, that is just slightly different, so that it's more personalized to your whole perspective of what you can bring to that business. And that's kind of what I did with my company. I know there's a lot of home cares out there. And that's, my business is home care. We actually are franchising the company and going nationwide.
Oh,
Currently,
wow.
yeah, currently we
So we can
cover,
say that step number two is a spin-off test
yes.
and repurpose and spin. That's the step number two. And the step number three, what could be expansion, get a franchise, get it global, something
Yeah,
like
well,
that. How you
it depends
define it?
Yeah, it depends on where you're at. Like a franchise is a big investment of um, a lot that has to do with operations. It's a whole nother
So
business.
before
So
franchising, you have to improve the operation, right?
you have to prove your business
Write your
model.
system and procedures.
And maybe that's going to be good enough for you, and maybe
And
it's going to be lucrative enough for you. My company actually, with a small area, you can produce $1 million in a very short time. So, you can get that in under a year. You could start producing $1 million with a franchise home care model. So, it is something that, I built to if the right person steps into it and they follow the training and all of the operation procedures, that they can actually achieve that very quickly. Not every business is so recession proof either. So that's one thing you want to look at too, is exploring those models that are more recession proof, that have real need based
mm-hmm.
aspect. So, identifying that marketplace, that demographic, who are your clients? Who are they going to be? Who are you going to start speaking to? Create a marketing plan, that's solid for your business is really, step three is where you want to start really developing that offering to the market.
Creating so step three, what would be creating a marketing plan?
Yeah, solid marketing offering plan, and start implementing it. Really start taking those steps towards that $1 million revenue, right? And seeing your first clients come on, seeing, in my case, it's clients that we're dealing with that need services in their homes. So, it's like, for instance, we have to hire some employees at the same time that we're bringing in clients. So it's a operational and bringing together the sales and bringing it together at the perfect timing and having the right oversight. So, every business has their own different intricacies, right? So really understanding
Mm-hmm.
what successful businesses do with their operations and their sales, and taking steps towards building plans for yourself to do that. Really inspecting and looking at what are the ways to grow, not just the here, the now, like having those plans of what are our offerings going to be in a year? How are we going to keep the differentiating factors very
Mm-hmm.
understood and
Very good.
growing in the right way?
And what would
Um,
be the step number 4 and 5? We don't
yeah.
expand too much because after we're gonna expand a lot. We have the whole broadcast for it. So very
Oh, okay.
condensed. What would be the step number 4 and 5?
Oh, 4 and 5 is building your team. You're going to need a team. It usually isn't just one person that can do all of this. Even people like Deepak Chopra have a team,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that was one of my teachers, and seeing all of the wonderful teams that he has in place to support his initiatives and that sort of thing. So, building a good team, having people
That's
around
very
you,
important. Yeah.
yeah, that share your vision too is really critical as well. And then pumping in the energy, keeping the energy
Mm-hmm.
going. It's not always easy. You've got to believe in yourself and your product, and sometimes you can, feel like, what am I doing? Is this the right thing? Should I just go back to being an employee? But you know,
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneurship is worth it. It's not always easy. There are a lot of trials and tribulations, but knowing that you can make this happen is really critical. Like, just keeping on track with your self motivation is really important.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.